Hi everybody, I wanted to share with you just some basics about using BigBlueButton, and I'm going to show you not only what to do inside of it, but kind of how to access it for your class. So let me say there are a couple of ways to do it. So one way is just to come into your Canvas course, and there is something that says BigBlueButton, which was formerly called Conference. This is from one of my past courses, so let me show you what that looked like. You can see there are a bunch of concluded courses, so this is where the students can access the recording if you record. Like you can see right here, it says one recording. If you click on this little link, it shows you down here there is a video. Now, it is very small, it's kind of hard to see, so you may have to kind of show your students some stuff, and I can send a separate video on that if that's helpful. So let me show you a class that's active. Here I could go to BigBlueButton and see there's this plus, so here's the blue button. You hit that new conference. It will ask you what you're trying to do, the duration. So I would say make sure you adjust the duration as you come in, and then make sure you enable recording if you would like to record and post this for later. If you want to write a description, that's okay, and then you can say invite all course members. So when you do that, it is going to send an invitation to the class, which I'm a little worried about doing right now because the class hadn't started, but we'll go ahead and send it. Then it'll allow it to start. So as you come in, it's going to ask you if you want a microphone or listen only. You, of course, want to pick a microphone because you'll be teaching, and it will ask you to test your mic. So you do a little test to make sure it works. So we'll say microphone. It'll say allow it. You say yes. And then after you say test, you're going to give a thumbs up to say it worked. Okay. In here, I think BigBlueButton is pretty easy to deal with. There you can have a just blank page, but notice in the blank pages, it goes up to about page 15. So this is your whiteboard if you want to use it. Over here, where there are these tools, you can switch the tools. You can have text, so you can type away. The text, you can change the color by going to the colors and clicking on the color you would rather have. I don't like to type in red actually, so we'll type something else. So it's a black. You can change the font if you want to. You can undo, and undo just does the last thing you're doing. If you want to get rid of everything, use the trash can. I spend most of my time using the pencil because I happen to have a computer that I can write with, so I have a Surface, so it allows me to write, and that's what I use most of the time. Again, you can change the color, you can change the thickness of the lines, which is sometimes helpful if you're trying to make a big statement, you can. It does have some shapes in there that might be helpful depending on what you're teaching. I do find that really helpful when I want to do maybe just an XY axis, so I could actually make it not as thick. That would probably be helpful. So it does help me have some kind of straight lines because on my own I might not come out too straight, so I do find that's pretty helpful to put that in there. Again, totally up to you. It is nice that you can turn on the multi-user. If you want students to be able to write, they can come in and write, and they kind of think that's fun. So if you have the opportunity to let them be interactive, that's always amazing. Students can type, and you can type to them down here in the message board. One thing I think is a good little hint is sometimes students have troubles with the audio and they will type to you, I can't hear everything. If you audibly say back, exit and come back, they're not going to hear you. So you want to type, exit and re-enter the conference because that way they can see it. So definitely, I always start my sessions with, can everybody hear me okay? Then start recording. Up at the top of the page, really important to hit so that you can record the lecture and post it later. So that's really nice. I do find interaction helps it to be a more engaging experience for the students and for you as the instructor. So down here at the bottom, there's this plus, which lets you start polls, and starting the poll is probably my go-to on things to do with the student. So you get to type your question in here to say, is this your first remote class? You can ask them yes or no. You could go true or false. You can do A, B, C, D. You can have a user response, which allows it just to be open and students can answer whatever they want. The A, B, C, D is nice because you can give some choices of yes, no. Some students aren't sure, so you could say not sure, and then if you only want to have 3 choices, you could take the other one away. You can add an additional item if you have more things you want to put in. So the polling is really great. You start the poll, the students give their answers. You can only see them, nobody else can, so students are anonymous, which is nice. That way if they get something wrong, you're the only one who knows that they got it wrong. When you're done, you push publish, and the answers will also show up, see here, in the chat, so it does save it to show for later. So it pops up on the screen, but it also pops up in the chat part. It is important to know that if students are on mobile devices, once you put up a poll, they can only see the poll, they can't see the screen anymore until they answer the question. So you want to make sure you write the question in and the choices. You can't just leave it on the screen because students on their phone or maybe on a tablet, it may block their access. So polling feature is really great. Another thing you're going to find you want to do is to share your screen. So sharing the screen, down on the bottom, it gives you these choices, there we go, that pop up. Now you can share your entire screen, which means you can click between different things, which is nice, so you can see different parts of your screen. You can share just a window, so it'll show you all the windows you have, and you can go through and pick which one you would like to pick. Or you could pick a Chrome tab. So if there's a particular Chrome tab you want to show, then you could click that. So it is nice to have these choices of how to share your screen. What I do most of the time is I upload presentations. So here, let me show you that. On the actions, there's manage presentations. So the presentations are you click in and bring in a file. I would encourage you to try to stick to PDFs. PowerPoints are awesome, but they show up a little fuzzy when you come in to the class. So if you write a PowerPoint, great. Just maybe use it as a PDF when you come in. Let me show you. I'll just pick one that I've used before. I confirm that that's what I want it to do. I tell it to upload, and it starts uploading. And while it's uploading, you still have your regular screen. And you can upload more than one, and then you can just go back and forth by clicking that plus button to manage the presentations. It will bring your presentation right into the screen, and then you just click around like a regular PowerPoint would. But again, if you have that option of ways to write, then you can write on top of it. So let me show you. So let me go back to just the pencil, and then I can write whatever I want here. I should make it a little thinner. And I could change colors, but let's go thin again. So you can write. Mine's going a little slow because I have a bunch of programs going right now. I'm recording my screen using an outside, I'm using Camtasia, not using the BigBlueButton. That's why it's going a little slow, but you can write. It does not save the writing that you do on the screen. It saves it as part of the video, but it doesn't save it as when you come back to that file, that writing won't be on there anymore. So this is a great way to do things, is to bring something in that you made ahead of time or that's in one of your faculty resources. But sometimes I find that I just want blank paper. Sometimes I have classes that I just need a lot of paper. So what I have done is I made just blank pages. So ahead of time, in Word, I have this thing that says blank PDF. And then I say that's what I want it to upload. So if you notice there's a check mark, I hit upload. And it is going to open that blank PDF. And why I like that is so I'm not limited to 15 pages. This has 30 pages, so watch if I click down, you can see I have 30 blank slides here, so it gives me plenty. As I write on it, let's just write whatever, it's nice that you can go back and forth, so we're not in those days like, remember we used to write on stuff on the board and you erase it, you don't have anymore. It is kind of nice that if you need to refer back to it, when I go back to page 1, I still have that information that I wanted, so that's really nice. I do end up sharing my screen to do graphing calculators a lot, so I can show my students step by step. Now I open Desmos as a window, so that means I would go over to share my screen, go to the Chrome tab, and then I would click Desmos, and then Desmos is going to be what they're seeing. So it does come over so that I can do stuff inside of it. Let's just graph a simple parabola. I go back to BigBlueButton and I can see what they're seeing. So I usually run two things at the same time. I put either dual monitors, or I have an iPad that I come in twice so I can have the version of what am I seeing and then what are they seeing. I know that's not always an option, so it's not the biggest deal if you can't do it, but it is nice. So when I'm working with this screen, notice I'm going to have to be open on the Desmos screen, and then they'll see whatever I'm doing. So if I want to turn that into something else, then I just need to know that they are going to see what I'm doing. Okay, so it'll take a little bit of time to play around, but it is a pretty good system. It's not too hard to navigate. I'm going to get out of it and let me show you. Don't forget, if you start recording, to stop recording, and then when you're done, you want to end the meeting. So not leave the meeting, you want to end it. The end it tells it the production is over. There's not going to be any more to it. If you just leave, the meeting keeps going. So make sure you hit end. And it says, are you sure? You say yes. The other way that you can do BigBlueButton, and this is the way I use BigBlueButton, is from your CSN login. So from your tiles, there is this tile that says BigBlueButton. And what that allows you to do is assign a room to your course. So if you have more than one course, you make more than one room. So I've had a lot of rooms, but down here it'll say create a room. So you just hit create a room and you enter a name. So you can call it whatever you want. If you have 120E, maybe you just call it 120E, maybe put it that it's fall, or you can say the time that it meets. I like to do times that it meets because sometimes I could forget. So you can see like my statistics class meets Tuesday, Thursday at 2. So that's what I put on there. If I have courses, like here I have a 127 at 2 o'clock, it really just helps me know when things are going to happen. Then it gives you a link, so you can either send that link to your students. I put it on the home page. I'll show you how I did that also, but it gives you the same kind of thing. So you have that access to the course. Let me show you like my summer class. And what I like about this is it always kind of comes in the same way, and it's a place where they can see the videos a little better. So here's my summer at 124 class, and here are all the videos. And I think having a button for them to click instead of that fine print at the bottom works a little bit better for my students. But again, you can see it has all the videos. The statistics are for you. So if you want to see how many people showed up, who showed up, how many polls did people answer, were they really active or not, that's kind of fun to have that. The difference in doing it this way is you do have one more step to do, is after class is over, you will have to make public the video. So the video comes in as unpublished and you just hit public. So that's a pretty easy thing to do. It can take an hour or two for the video to show up. So if your class is an hour and a half long, it'll probably be another hour and a half later before the video posts, and you just click the little button. Students will remind you. Don't worry about that. They'll be like, where's the video? So they will tell you. But I like it, and it's very organized. What that looks like on their end is this. This is my homepage. I choose to do a page for a homepage. You could do a module as well. But I have a link that says join conference. So I hit the join conference and it takes me right to that page and it tells me to start the conference. For the student, it'll take them to this page and I'll ask them to enter their name. And then I'll start the same way. What you could do is just copy this link and put it on your course. You could also just add a module like join conference and put the link there, and they could come back to it every day. But I like to have that way that they know they come to the class, they hit the join conference. They don't have to wait for me to send them the link. They can be ready for as soon as I start the conference, they're ready to go. And then I send them a little video on how to join the conference, which I can send you the same video if you want it. Just it makes it easier how to attend live lectures. I'm going to put a video in there for them. I know that was a lot, so this is a good place to start. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Everybody at CSN is really nice. We're happy to help each other. So let me know if there's anything else I can show you.